doing well? Okay, so today we are going to discuss about response to abiotic factors. Okay, so for organism and population we have already discussed about ecology. Now we are going to discuss about what? Response to abiotic factors. So what are abiotic factors? You have already learned, isn't it? Like sunlight, temperature, water, rainfall, humidity. These are all what? These are called as what? Abiotic factors, isn't it? So these responses to abiotic factors, how living beings are going to respond to abiotic factor is the topic what we are going to discuss today. Okay. So response to abiotic factor, number one, the term what you have to learn is what is homeostasis. So what is homeostasis? Maintaining the constancy of internal environment means your internal environment, your temperature, body temperature, your thing should remain constant. Okay, so that one we call it as what? Homeostasis. If you are maintaining a constant body temperature, constant body metabolism, then the term what we use is for homeostasis. Okay, I am maintaining a constant body temperature. My body functioning is constant. Okay, there is no variation. Then I call it as homeostasis. Okay, so in order to maintain this internal environment, organisms, when you are seeing, they are adapting different methods. Okay, so what are the different methods? One by one we are going to discuss. Okay, so I have to survive. By that I have to maintain my own body temperature, my own body condition. So how I do? There are four methods. How many methods are there? Four. One is regulate. Second one is confirm, third one is migration, and the fourth one is what is that? Suspension. Okay. So what is first one? First one is regulate. Regulate means what? Like we mammals are having that mechanism called as what? Regulatory mechanism. So what is regulate? Regulate means I can regulate my body temperature. I can maintain homeostasis. My body temperature, that is 37 degrees Celsius, is a normal body temperature, will remain constant. There will not be any change. So I am having a constant body temperature by a mechanism called as what? Regulation. Okay. I regulate my body environment by two processes. One is thermoregulation and another one is osmoregulation. Okay. So what is thermoregulation? What is osmoregulation? Regulation of heat, we call it as what? Thermoregulation. So what is osmoregulation? Regulation of osmotic concentration, the amount of water which is present in my body, the salts that are present in my body. So that one we call it as what? Osmoregulation, water maintenance. Okay. So regulating heat, regulating water. By these two methods, what I can do is that I can regulate my body temperature to the normal temperature. How I do it? Like for example, when it is summer, how do I regulate my body temperature? I will be sweating profusely so that the water moves out of my body, the water gets evaporated, the water will absorb the heat from the surrounding and make my body temperature cool. Okay, so like that I am regulating. Now when it is too cold, okay, in the polar region also I can go and survive to some extent sometimes. Okay, so how? I will be shivering. So when I am shivering, what is happening? It's a type of exercise, isn't it? So heat energy is released. What is released? Heat energy. So that energy is making my body temperature to normal. Okay, so that I can survive that cold condition also. So if these are the some behavioral means or physiological means, functionally I am adapting, I am changing myself, I am regulating myself to maintain my body temperature. That process we call it as regulate. Okay, maintaining homeostasis, constant body internal environment by physical and behavioral means. Okay, by some metabolism or by some wearing sweaters. Okay, light clothes like that and all, we can regulate our body temperature. Now confirm. Confirm means what? Like aquatic animals are conformers. Okay. So some animals are conformers. Why? Because they cannot regulate their body temperature, cold-blooded animals. So when you are saying this, they cannot regulate their body temperature means they are conformers. Their temperature in their body changes according to the external environment. Okay. If the external environment is becoming hot, their body temperature will also become increased. If their external environment temperature is coming down, their body temperature will also come down. Means they cannot regulate their body temperature. Conformers are having they will change their body temperature according to the ambient environment. means according to the environment, according to the external condition, according to the external environment of surrounding, their body temperature will change. Okay, so then I call that one as what? Confirm. So can maintain a constant internal environment, their body temperature change with the ambient temperature. Okay, outside. Example is what? Aquatic organisms. That's why only you can find the shrews and hummingbirds and all. You cannot find where? In the polar region. Why? Because these animals, when you are seeing, they are having very small body, isn't it? So the small animals there. So the area, surface area, when you are seeing the small animals, the surface area will be more. In the surface area is more, then automatically these are mammals, so they have to regulate, isn't it? So what they will be doing? They will be giving out heat. Surface area is more. So the heat production will be more. Most of the, from each and every surface area you can find there is a heat loss. So when the heat is lost, means what will happen? The temperature, means they will be feeling difficult to produce more heat. They have to spend a lot of energy in order to generate heat. So usually they don't survive there. In the cold areas, you cannot find this hummingbird as well as shrews, like animals, mammals in those places, because they cannot regulate their body temperature, but they are regulators. They need to regulate, but they cannot regulate, so that you cannot find these organisms where in the polar region. Okay, that is one criteria which you need to know. Okay, yes. So these small animals have a large surface area related to volume, so they will be losing much amount of heat. So they are not found where in the cold regions. Clear? Now this is a chart. This is a graph depicting what? Internal level and external level regarding regulators and conformers. See, this one is regulator. Okay, this is what? This is regulator, and this one is conformer. So this one is conformers. Okay. So what is the difference? This is external level. This is internal levels. Means internal levels means what? Your body temperature. Okay, your body, internal, your inside your body, how it is changing. And what is external level? Outside, how the temperature is increasing or decreasing, whatever it is. Okay, yeah. So regulators, they have a constant body temperature. The temperature doesn't change. External level is changing, going on increasing, but their temperature remains constant. The internal level also, when you are seeing, that remains constant. There is no change. So this is depicting what? Regulators. What is conformers? This is conformers, which means when the temperature, external temperature is low, internal temperature is low. When the external temperature is high, the internal temperature is also high, which means their body temperature changes with the external environment. Okay, so this the graph will be given. They will be giving A, B, which is regulator, which is conformer. Define regulators, define conformers. What is the example of regulators? What is the example of conformers? What do you mean by external level? What do you mean by internal level? Like this, questions can come for your exams. Okay, just go through. Now moving on to the third one, migration. Very simple, migration. You migrate. These two are just for a shorter duration, not for the lifelong. Okay, just for shorter duration in order to escape some harsh environmental condition, organism adapt these methods. Okay, so number one is what? Migration. What is migration? Moving away from one place to another. Like for example, when it is too cold, winter, okay, from Siberia or north cold area countries, when you are seeing animals like migratory birds, they move from one place and they come to our locality or the equatorial regions. Why they are coming? In order to escape that harsh weather, escape that winter, they are migrating from one place to another. They are coming here. Okay. So like for example, many migratory birds, they move from Siberian crane and all. Like they are moving from Siberia and they are reaching Colorado National Park, Bharatpur, where it is in Rajasthan. Okay. During winter, you can find they are migrating from one place to another. So this is one method to cope up with the harsh environment or abiotic factor. The next one is what? Suspension. Suspension means what? Metabolism is suspended. I am not going to do anything. I am just going to sit at home. Okay. I am not going to do. I am just going to sleep and sleep. Okay. So that will be called as what? Suspension. Okay. Like for example, one is hibernation. You would have here polar bear during winter. They go for hibernation. 6 months. They are not going to do anything. They are just going to stay. So they will eat in the summer and all. Much amount fat and all will be stored. That and all will be used by during winter. They are not going to move anywhere. They are going to sit in one particular place. So that they sleep in that one particular place. So that one we call it as winter sleep hibernation. The same, in the summer, if the animals are not happy with the summer and they want to escape from summer, they go for what? Estivation. Okay. So what is estivation? Here, like snails and fishes, they go for summer sleeps. They go for sleeps. For months, they used to sleep in order to escape what? The summer. Okay. And the next one is called diapause. So if there is any harsh weather, like much amount of increase or decrease in temperature, you can find many zooplanktons. So what is zooplanktons? Floating animals, okay, in the aquatic bodies. These zooplanktons, they go for diapause. So what is diapause? Suspended development stage. So it is under developmental stage. You know what are the development is? Like you have a zygote, egg, thereafter larva, pupa, like that. Developmental stages are there, isn't it? So at particular time they are finding, they are just they have made spores. Okay, like spores or cysts. Eggs are formed. These eggs will not hatch out. They are not they are not going to hatch out and come out. Why they are not going to come out? Because it is harsh outside. The temperature is not that much good. So they will be remaining in that stage for so long until the favorable condition comes. They will be remaining like that only. That during that development stage they will be arrested. Okay. So stage of suspended development under unfavorable condition. So that will be called as what? We call it as diapause. Only when the new condition comes, you can find when favorable condition comes, they will be going for the next developmental stage. They will come out, the larva will be coming out, like that we can find. Okay. So that one we call it as what? Diapause. During the developmental stages in the life, there is a suspension. Then we call it as what? Diapause. Okay. So one is hibernation, winter sleep, estivation, summer sleep, and another one is what? Diapause, which means during the developmental stage of an organism, like you would have learned, isn't it? Morula, blastula, gastrula, isn't it? So all these stages, some stages getting arrested. So zooplanktons usually they get arrested at some particular stage, so that the next stage they are not going into in order to escape harsh weather condition. Okay. So these are the different ways by which we living organism respond to abiotic factors.
Adaptation. Adaptation is you are adapting to the changes in the environment. How organisms are adapting to the changes in the environment, because environment is not the same, it keeps on changing. So how the organisms are adapting to the environment is what we are going to discuss today. Okay. So number one is it is the attribute of organism, that is morphological, yes, physiological morphology, external changes, or functionally physiological changes, or in the behavior there is some changes that enables an organism to survive and reproduce successfully in its habitat. So in its place, which and all characters will they have to adapt so that they can survive in that place, that one we call it as what? We call it as adaptation. Okay. So changes what and all in morphology, it can be physiology, function, or it can be behavioral changes. Okay. Like examples we are going to discuss. Okay. So adaptation. So you are coming to Mount Sinai from some other school. How you are adapting to the Mount Sinai, isn't it? So that is adaptation. You want to adapt. Now kangaroo rats, when you are seeing, meets is water requirement. Okay. So they want water. So how they are making use of the water which is very scarce there, they are usually oxidizing the fat. In that the byproduct is released as what? Water, and that water is utilized by them. Along with that, the desert animals, when you are seeing, they urinate very less amount of water, urine, so that the water is not lost in the form of urine, it is being preserved. Okay. So that are the various ways by which the desert animals are adapting. Now when you are seeing the desert plants, what do they have? They have very thick stem. Okay. So the stems are very thick and they have a very thick cuticle. Cuticle is what? The outer covering of the leaves. Okay. Or the stems, that is made up of what? A very thick coating. That thick coating we call it as what? We call it as cuticle. Okay. And they also have what? Shrunken stomata. Okay. Stomata and shrunken means what? Like for example, this is the outer covering of the leaf. Okay. So when you are seeing, this is the outer covering of the leaf. So this outer covering, if you are seeing, this outer covering is having the stomata shrunken. Where is the stomata present? Here it is present. So in that case, directly in the atmosphere they are not exposed to, so that the transpiration will be less. Like for example, this is you can find the lower surface of the leaf. Now in this, what is going to happen is that the stomata, when you are seeing, it is not present outer, it is present inside. So here it is present, here it is present. Okay, in case if it is present inside, then we call it as what? Shrunken stomata. So automatically the amount of water which will be lost from here, since they are not in immediate contact with the atmosphere, the amount of water which is going out will be very, very less. Okay, so that is one way by which they adapt to the desert environment, harsh environment. Opuntia, when you are seeing a plant where their leaves are reduced to what? Spines, so that the transpiration is not taking place much. And photosynthesis is carried by whom? The stem is carrying out photosynthesis, as it is green in color, and the leaves are reduced to spine in order to reduce water loss through transpiration. And these plants, when you are seeing, they have a special mechanism for photosynthesis to reduce transpiration. You can find in this the stomata that remains closed during the daytime. At night time it is remaining opening, so that they can take the carbon dioxide in the mesophyll cell, which can be used for what? Photosynthesis. So daytime it remains closed, stomata. Why? Because in order to reduce the loss of heat. Okay, so that plants we call it as CAM plants. Okay, carcinoid acid metabolism. So this pathway we call it as what? CAM pathway. Clear? Yes. So this is regarding desert plants. Like C4 plants you have, they reduce the water loss. Okay, that is the adaptation of photosynthesis in plants in order to reduce the water loss in desert environment. The next is your lizards. Okay, desert lizards. They regulate the thing by what? Behavioral means. Behavioral means what? They bring about a change in the behavior, so that they can adapt to the changes in the environment. So how do they? Like they bask in the sun. When the temperature goes down below normal, whenever the sun comes, they bask in the sun. They lie down in the sun and they will be getting themselves heated up. Okay, the heat, they are receiving it. Another thing is that they move to the shade. When it is too hot, they move to the shade, and when it is too hot, the ground itself, they make burrow and go deep inside, so that they are escaping from the heat. Okay, above ground heat they are escaping. So that ways desert lizards are adapting themselves. Next, when you are seeing mammals, some mammals, what do they have is that are living in the cold climates. Okay, these mammals, they have shorter ears and limbs and all, hands and all are very short. It's not long. It's not long. Why? If it is long, or it is having a much surface area, if it is long, isn't it? So surface area is more, means automatically heat loss will also be more. So they have to respire a lot to generate body heat. Energy will be lost a lot, isn't it? So in order to reduce the heat loss, what they are having? They are having shorter ears, shorter limbs. Okay, so they are adapted like that. With evolution, they adapted to have what? Shorter ears and shorter limbs. Why? In order to reduce the heat loss, minimal heat loss. Okay, and this characteristics, this characterization property of these mammals, we call it as what? Allen rules. What do we call them? Allen rule, and a very important 2-mark question. Okay, and in polar sea, aquatic animals and all, when you are seeing seals, what they have a thick layer of fat. Okay, so blubber is the name. So they are having a thick layer of fat, and what is this fat acting as? They are acting as insulators. Okay, they are not allowing the body heat to move out. Okay, so they are capturing the heat in their body and keeping it within itself, so that they are getting warmth. So they reduce the loss of body heat. Which one? This polar seals. Okay, so that is how the polar seals are adapting to the external environment. The next, when you are seeing the rest of the characteristics, what is that? Physiological adaptation. What is physiological? Functionally your body is performing in a different way. So how functionally your body is performing in a different way? Like for example, we, okay, humans, when we go into higher altitudes, okay, there the pressure is very, very less, oxygen availability is very, very less, and most of us suffer from a condition which we call it as what? Altitude sickness. What is the condition called? Altitude sickness. Its symptoms include nausea, yes, fatigue, tiredness, heart palpitation, means heart will be beating very hard, very fast, some sounds you cannot hear properly, skipping, like that heart palpitation will be there. So these are usually seen when you go to what? Higher altitudes. Okay, why? Because here the atmospheric pressure is very, very low. Okay, and the body does not get enough oxygen. In order to compensate this condition, I have to survive there, right? Somehow I have to live there, I should not die. So my body adapt. How they adapt? By increasing. So the low oxygen content has to be adapted. How to adapt it? Number one, by increasing the red blood cells. Okay, by the red blood cells divides very fast, and you can find the red blood cells count increases. Okay, that is number one. Second one is that decreasing the oxygen binding capacity. Binding capacity of hemoglobin is there now. So that is being decreased. Binding capacity is decreased. That is the second one. You have to reduce the binding capacity of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin binding to carbon dioxide, binding to oxygen, binding to carbon monoxide, to some extent it has to be reduced. Okay, it's not going to bind, no, it's binding, but to some extent it is reduced. Okay, and it is also increasing our breathing. We are also increasing our breathing rate. So when you go to higher, you breathe much, so much amount of air is moving in. Much amount of air is moving means much amount of oxygen will also go in. How much is there? Less, isn't it? So I need more, so I will be breathing faster so that more oxygen will be getting in. Okay, and this carbon dioxide and all are not getting binded to hemoglobin because the affinity is less. So all of a sudden everything cannot go and bind very fast. Okay, so by increasing the red blood cell, so the number of hemoglobins increases. By decreasing the binding capacity of hemoglobin, so that the carbon dioxide is not getting binded absolutely, and by increasing the breathing rate, what we can do? We can withstand the changes which are taken place when we move on to the high altitudes. So these are the things which we have to which adapt to survive. Okay, so these are few examples which are given in this chapter, wherein you have to read the examples how plants and animals are adapted to different environmental conditions. Okay, some examples are given. Okay, in that the Allen's rule is very important 2-mark question. In the next class we will be discussing about population attributes. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.